Right. Hello, guys. Welcome to the start of the season that I thought was last week, but apparently it wasn't. Last week was just pre-season. Um, we are here for round one of our second season here at WAOF1. So proud to be here and watch these boys go into what is hopefully going to be every bit as good a season as the first. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. And I'm sure it will. There's old faces on the grid. There's new faces on the grid, and it's going to be interesting to see how they all get on. Brilliant to see. Obviously, we've got the two boss men first, actually, Whale and Oozers, both back for season 2, which is great news. But also like some Moomin, who's a crowd favourite, I believe, as well as Reedy Boy, our most supported driver, and who I think's gonna, and I'm not the only one, but who we think's gonna mount a title challenge this year. We are predicting. Oh, they've readied up. There we go. There was lots more as well, but they've readied up, so I can't see them any now. We'll have to move on. So, hopefully everything goes well tonight. We are all set up. We've been set up all day, ready for the big moment. They've been practicing like there's no tomorrow. I think last count, I believe Well and Reed have put over 1,000 laps in each around here. So, and that's just those two. So, it's had a lot of practice running at Bahrain. Other than a few new drivers, of course, is the the standard real life point system. Change this season, and everybody will score points if they finish. So you must finish the race. You can't just score for retiring. But it will be that everybody who finishes can score points. And part of the reason for this, and I know people say it's not the same as they do in real life, but the reason for it is because it spices up the battles a bit further down the field, and helps to keep the drivers a bit lower down interested, and they can score well. And quite frankly, even though I'm usually a top 10 driver, so I score points regularly anyway, I still prefer the everybody scores leagues. So this is Leg of Lamb, but we'll go to the driver who was first out then, which is Sol. Solex. Good to see him back on the grid. Just taking my phone off of Wi-Fi so that it's concentrating fully on the stream instead. And but I have got the stream up on my phone, so I should be able to see any comments you make, guys. So, in terms of expectations for tonight, what are we expecting pole position wise? Well, definitely in the 27s. Whether we'll see as low as a 26 remains to be seen. We'll have to see how the likes of Carsey and Reed go. I mean, the practice race before Reed was in the 27s. The only driver in the practice race to do that. But I'd suggest they probably weren't the best times that people can manage. Anyway, here we go. Solix then. Let's give him the first hilly hot lap of the season as well, really. Down into turn 1, usually down to second. Oh, he's accidentally shifted into neutral there. He's going to continue the lap or back out. Looks like he's going to continue, so we head up to turn 4, down to third. Use third or fourth through there. gear up, ready for this quick right, well, left, right, left. Such an important part of the track when it comes to the lap time. You need to be flat out through the final part of the quick left, right, left. Slow right-hander. This leads you in now to the sort of double left-hander, which is this heavy braking. And just quickly open DRS. The problem is that the traction isn't good on the exit there, so you have to be a bit careful, particularly if you're going to use ERS as well. It tends to be the most effective, your energy, coming out of the slowest corners. So, into this right-hander now. One rule on that right-hander, and that is do not touch the inside curb. We're going to have to move and down. Oh, it's the other house. Where's the other house? Right down at the bottom, of course it is. No, I didn't get there in time. Where's the Alfa Romeo? It's wrong Alfa Romeo. It's either so. Oh no, he's on night lap. Red Bull. Was Racing J. So here is that long right-hander that was mentioned. So basically, yeah, don't touch the inside curb because it will spin you around. Curb of death. Late braking, late apex on that corner, but it's so important. You've got to be able to get a good exit. Take the speed all the way down the straight, and that tends to help you with a bit of momentum into the final corner. And again, you've got to get the good exits going on to pit straight, and that's our first proper lap of the session. Then, oh sorry, no, Junkie did the lap as well. So Junkie Emperor managed to 30.5 on the mediums. Racing J 29.0 on the softs. Reed 29.5 on the mediums, 29.7 on the mediums for Whale. Somebody else has just gone up there. Moomin 30.3. Anybody else in validation there from Lego Lamb? Sorry, not. I got to get that right. Because I checked this room last week, didn't I? It's not lamb, like leg of lamb. It's Lego lamb, like the Danish playing bricks. There's a very cute story behind it as well, from when he was young. But I can't remember it, so I can't tell you what it was. So on with this man. He really moved himself up the teams for this season. On from Williams last season. Dean Bryce, who isn't with us tonight. He is supposed to be on the track, but not there tonight. Gaza here in the Ferrari season with Scarlet Red. There he comes. He's not messing about on the mediums. I'm a little surprised actually that Gaz across the line to a 29.9 then it goes P4. I'm a little surprised that the four drivers that have used the set of mediums so far have actually done that. As Lego Lamb goes P10, 31.2. Carsey, well, it's not just Carsey, like Neatborough, Taylor, they're doing it as well. I mean, you've got to say the ones that have done it are the ones that you'd normally expect to get through, but I'm just a little surprised because having two sets of fresh mediums for Bahrain is actually pretty advisable. It's not very forgiving on tyres around here. It is pretty high wear, and a safety car at a certain time very much could mean that you use two sets of mediums around here. So a little surprised that they're using it, but it's usually a way that you can avoid using a set of softs maybe in Q1 and therefore keep an extra set for Q3. So anyway, that was Carsey's lap that put him into P2. It's Sokovic just starting a lap, so let's stick with Damir. He's heading up to tier 4, turn 4. Sequence of corners then. It's usually down to 5th for the right hander, and you go stay in 5th, gearing up to 6th I usually find. It's the easiest way, and it means you can stay on the power through the whole corner. It's, and this, and it causes problems, that left hand. I've never enjoyed it. I don't think it's... There's only 2 corners like that I can think of on the whole calendar, and it's obviously that one. And there's one a bit similar to it. It's USA, Circuit of the Americas, but I'm not a fan of them. They can cause problems, particularly early in the race when the cars are really tight together. You get this sort of... I forget what the name of it is, but you get this sort of effect where the cars snake up together. As one breaks, the next one needs to break that a little bit earlier, and so on, and it can be a problem as the cars further back don't expect to have to brake so early. But as long as you get through the first sort of 2 or 3 laps without any contacts, then you're usually okay. So glad to see as Soklovic goes into P9 then. So glad to see that we are starting at Bahrain. Tracks were drawn out. As for the teams, it's, Bahrain, as a commentator especially, but as a driver as well, Bahrain is one of my absolute favourites. It may even be my favourite. I'm not really sure on what my favourite is as a commentator, but Bahrain would be in the top 3, I think. It's no guarantee of a safety car around here. I think it's probably, out of all the tracks, it's got to have one of the lowest safety car likelihoods. I think the likelihood of a safety car around here is below 1. I think it's about a 0.8 average around here, so 0.8 to 0.9, so that is very low compared to pretty much all the tracks apart from France, really. But it lends itself to great racing as well. There's usually plenty of overtaking going on. Most of the overtaking around here you're going to see into turn 1 because you've got the massive pit straight, and a good 3/4 of that straight is under DRS, so you'll see most of your overtaking down to turn 1, but then the straight after that leads up to turn 4 is another DRS zone, which heavy braking for turn 4 as well means you do see some moves up there as Solex completes another lap and goes P13 this time, so goes into the safe zone. Somebody moves ahead of him immediately, so trying to work out who that was. I think it might have been Taylor. It's an Alpha Tauri, so I think it might have been Taylor. I'll tell you what, if I had to pick 20 drivers on track, means we're going to lose 5 drivers in this first session. If you asked me to pick 5 drivers out of this, I don't think I'd be able to do it, quite frankly. But I don't think I'd get it right, let's put it that way. Freeman. Freeman, a brilliant driver to watch. How do I describe Freeman? He might be down sort of towards the back one week, and then the next week you suddenly put in top 3 in qualifying and then end up with a podium. You really don't know what to expect from him. It's one of those drivers. Yeah. I know when I raced with him previously in another league, he was always very consistent, but in WAOF1 or WAOF1, he's proven to be the opposite way round. But I think that's going to see him through by the looks of things, safely. Obviously teammates with Racing J as well, which is a formidable team, it has to be said. As Davey crosses the line from McLaren, goes into P11. It's a good lap from Davey. Just this man left to put a lap on the board, which he's just doing now. And he should be, well, he goes fastest, 28.898. I was about to say he should be getting through reasonably comfortably, should this man will be. But goes fastest, which means he will do. Tyre board's not exactly being set alight here at the moment. It's only one driver into the 28s. I know it's only Q1, but I don't think, I personally, every single driver on this track is capable of getting a better lap than 130 in, so I think this is very much still open at the moment. Really, I think he's just starting a lap. It's gone by the amount of energy he's got. I would say he is. Gunnar retires from the session, currently in P4 on a 29.4. So that's pretty slow. I'm a little surprised. Well, we'll see. Say it's Q1 of a new season, yet that's the other thing. You never quite know what to expect going into a new season. Exactly where you're going to be. So there's certain drivers like the man we're on board with and Carsey, Racing J, for example, just to name three. They know they're going to be out the front somewhere, they know that, but the rest of us mere mortals don't know that. We don't know until we actually go into a race in a season to have an idea of where we're likely to be on the grid. Right-hander once more. I don't think, we'll check the sector time, but no, he's well down, 1.5 seconds down. He's clearly backed out of that. Who else we got then? This man. This man currently in 13th. Comes through sector 2. 6.5 temps up. Just heading into the 29s. We'll automatically see him go top 10. There we go, 29.7, in fact, puts him up to P7, Junkie Emperor, and but again, I know from the practice race beforehand, he's capable of a lot more, and no, is there something wrong with the weather conditions? Is the track a different temperature maybe? It's causing the times to be a bit slower. Give you an idea, guys. I myself in the practice race beforehand had a go at the practice race, and my qualifying lap was 1:29.0, which isn't fast, but it was the first lap I'd done. I hadn't done any practice runs or anything, so expecting sounds to be a bit higher, a bit lower. I don't know how you work that one round, higher or lower. On that operator just finished a lap, didn't improve. Solex nicely up, half a second. Just going to put them towards the top end of the 130s. Bottom end, again, I don't know. Top end, I guess. Just looking like it's going to be enough to get through, but plenty of time left for improvement. As Solex then improves by 6 temps and goes up to P14 for the moment, so certainly not safe, but better than where he was. And another man just going across the timing and is improving. Where can he go? And keep the improvement going through the final sector. Right, so 130.4 improves by about 2 temps. That wasn't enough to go back ahead of Solex, so Baz very much in trouble in P15. Soklovic is into the pits, so he is out. Operator not improving, and looks like he's going to go into the pits. Lego Lamb, unfortunately, as well. I don't think he got round in time. I think he was going round to start a lap and didn't get round in time. James flies up to P11 and is through to Q2. That knocks Baz out. Just one man left to go. 1.1 seconds up. Wouldn't be enough just yet. Need a bit more. Nicely done. Can he find enough time? And oh no, that's not going to do it. Boozers qualifies P19. He's out. It's not what we were expecting. So I think that the track is a lot slower than it was earlier on. I think the weather conditions must be different in this session to what we had earlier on. Because Oozers was lapping a lot faster than that earlier today. And yeah, just a lot of the other times, we're just waiting for a couple of drivers to come in now. Newman's invalidated, he's going to head into the pits, and so it's going to be a case of waiting for Newman's car to be pushed in. Solex and Baz just being pushed in as well, and that'll be the end of Q1. So unfortunately, first race of the season. Hope these guys don't lose heart. There's a long way to go, and it's just one race. Next week it could be 5 different drivers easily. So we're going to lose Baz, Soklovic, Operator, Oozers, and Legoland out of Q1. But look how tight it was, though. It's none of those guys have gone out by a long way. They're all close, within touching distance of the cut-off for getting into Q2. So that is encouraging for them, and it's encouraging for the league as well to have it so close. Obviously, we'll be fastest in session 1, but long way to go. We won't worry too much about the top 15 there. Those are the guys that have gotten through. It's mostly about these guys down here. But as you can see, the cut-off time was 1:30.346. Lego Lamb, who has qualified at the back, 6/10 off of that, and no doubt at all he's not put his best lap on the board, so that tells you straight away. It's tight down there, and I don't think we're going to see the same 5 guys on that part of the list every week somehow. In a way, let's have a look at some of the comments that are coming. It feels like there's not the grip yet, says Takuna. They may explain it. I suppose we're doing full quali, whereas earlier on we did a short qualifying. That could be the difference. It does. The track will get a bit better as we go through the full quali. Baz, unlucky Baz, only just missed out. Yeah, Whoopi saying it's slidey as well. Takuna reckons it's now going to be in low 28s. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the front and the way. A few names recognised. I should think so, Ghost Rider. Yes, indeed. That's right, you're not doing the practice race tonight, Ghost Rider. Or were you doing it and it's maybe not gone to plan? There you are. As Operator saying, he definitely had a few attempts on his first lap, but invalidated it, unfortunately. So that just goes to show, you see, that really could have been whole multitude of drivers that could have been the ones going out in that session. So, said that bodes well for the league. We know every league has your top guys in it that are going to be fighting away at the top. We all know that. Every league has that. Absolutely every single one. So, it's just part of it. But what you want is a nice, close field throughout. I find the best leagues sometimes are actually the ones that sometimes get split into maybe 3 groups. So you've got your absolute top, fastest group, then you've got a sort of mid-pack group, and then the slower group. But as long as everybody belongs to a group, then they've got people to fight with and, you know, drive against each week. And based on which group you're in, you can set your own targets for the season, you know. So it makes sense to me, anyway. Anyway, we're up and running then in Q2. This is our first hot lap. So I think the only thing I'd say about Bahrain on the game, I don't think they've quite got the effects quite right on it. It's not dark enough for me. I think we put it on a realistic setting, so it's supposed to be like it is in real life. But I don't think they've made it dark enough. You watched Bahrain Grand Prix in real life, and they got you on an onboard camera with someone, very much like we are now. You see that the sky itself is actually pitch black. And then you have the lights flickering away, which also gives you that effect of the sparks coming out the back of the cars as well. And it's just all adds to the entertainment value. Hopefully they'll get a bit closer to that on future instalments of the game. And as Chunky comes across the line then, 130.1. Daguna straight after, 128.9, so Daguna is straight into the 28s in Q2. Garrett's heading for the line as well, 29.2, so his lap's much improved. Two McLarens on their way round. Reed goes fastest already, 28.1, so we're at the low 28s already. So it looks like Daguna spot on his prediction there. Davey then, 130.6, moving his teammate, 29.4. So there we have it. The McLarens, this is Freeman in the Red Bull just coming for the line now, 29.2, puts him P4 at the moment. The boss man, always invalidated his lap actually, unless it was an out lap. Actually, it may have been an out lap. Stick with him then, shall we? Stick with the boss man, always get to get a lap in with a boss. Who I'm very pleased has announced today that I am to be made an admin in the league. So I'm now commentator admin. I think everybody knows I was a consultant admin in a way before that, but I'm now actually officially an admin. You won't worry about that too much. It's, well, comes down. So that is another DRS straight, by the way, so it's becoming more and more common now that the tracks, the more modern tracks, or those that have had, might not be modern tracks, but they may have had updates to them recently, all those tend to have free DRS zones now. It seems to be becoming the norm. It's, 28.9 then from Well goes into P3. I've got to give Well a shout out actually. We are teammates on a Monday night, and I have to say He's won the first 2 races of our season on the Monday night. He's been absolutely superb, absolutely on fire. And, gotta give him that. Australia was our first race. Seemed to have the pace actually to match him there, but Monday's race at Canada, I was absolutely nowhere near him. He was on fire. Kept checking my on your screen. You can press a button which allows you to speak to your engineer, and you can ask your engineer how your teammates getting on. And I was doing it throughout the race, constantly being told he was still first, and very well. So I think, oh, we got a spinner in the Merc. Round goes Meat Burrow. We won't be seeing that too much of that this season, but I was just about to say he's a very exciting driver for us to have on the grid. Hopefully, last season he did start the season right at the beginning, but just wasn't able to continue and couldn't make the races. So hopefully, fingers crossed for this season he can, because without doubt he will be an absolute top challenger in the league, up there with Carsey and Reed, without a doubt. As long as he doesn't too much of that spinning abound. Anybody else? Racing J's gone into P4 on a 28.9. So that's 4 drivers so far into the 28s. I'm just trying to think what cut-off might be. And I still think we're going to be reasonably high. I think I'm going to go for a 29.8 as the cut-off. The top 10. I may be dreaming there. It may be quite a bit lower than that, but we'll see. Just under 7 minutes left of the session. Sorry, we actually moved on to this driver. I hadn't realised they were on an outlap. But we've come so far with them, we'll stick with them. The Gooner cut off 29.2. What did I just say? Did I say 29.6? Or 29.8? I can't remember what I said. I've only just said it. Gooner's going for a 29.2. Don't think. Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhere in there. It's really hard to say. But it's clear with the improvement in lap times that the track's beginning to come towards us now. But anyone watching, maybe families that are watching and stuff that maybe don't play the game themselves, that is something that is involved in the game. The track evolution does happen in the game, just like it does in real life, on the weekends. And so there is the option, you could do a practice session at the start of the weekend rather than just going straight to quali. And the track would be a lot worse in the practice session than it is in qualifying, and then the race is even better again. So this man, if you remember back to Q1, he was fastest, and just coming out the final corner now, but he was fastest on the 29, wasn't it? So, or 28.8, and managed the 28.9 there. Goes P4 this time, just behind teammate Daguna by 9 thousandths of a second. They're going to be a team to watch this season, just like Red Bull. I think them and Red Bull are going to be 2 teams to really keep an eye on. There's more than that as well. I think those 2 are going to be real teams to keep an eye on for the constructors, but there's a lot more than that. Particularly, as I say, with this new point system this season. So, right guys, I'm going to leave you on board here. I just need to nip off for a second. I'll be back in just a moment. Apologies. Hey guys, back. Do apologise about that. Right, where are we now? 1 minute 45 left to go. It's gone down to, so as we know, this is about getting into the Q3, into the final pole position shootout, and yeah, that's all that matters really. There he crosses the line. Sorry, I thought he was on a hot lap, but he wasn't. But we'll stick with him. So, the driver in trouble at the moment. Well, it's looking very much to Gunnar like you may have been correct. The driver in trouble at the moment in P10 is Gaza on 29.2. However, P11 Solex is on 29.9. Quite a gap. Ooh, but he has just been dropped down as Meatbro crossed the line and went up to P4, 28.8. So the driver in trouble now is Freeman, who is also on a 29.2. Oh, a Red Bull drives off track for our McLaren man. Not willing to give a tow. Set to 2, 3 tenths up. So it's going to be good enough for a position. Let's see if we can find any more. As Freeman is now down, Moomin is in trouble, and Moomin is out of qualifying. He's finished. And that was Gaza going back up into the top 10 into P9 on the 29.0. Here is Davey. He improves by a quarter of a second, goes 14th ahead of James. Junkie's into the pits, so we're going to lose Junkie. Freeman is invalidated. What about James? James is still going. And he is up. He's up. He's 8 tenths up. Still needs to find a lot more time in the final sector. Can he do it? Oh no, he's going to go round. Oh, unlucky James. I mean, he was certainly gonna head up to P12. That would have been the worst. He'd have gained 3 places, but you never quite know how much time somebody's got in them. You know, you don't know how good their previous attempt's been. And usually the 5 drivers that were losing in this session are the first 5 to actually finish their laps. So nobody currently on the lap needs to finish the lap. We are all safe now. And, Taylor looks like another really good addition to the league. Yeah, and he's driven on the Mondays as well. With me and Well have driven. He's currently second behind Well in the championship on the Mondays. He's driven exceptionally well. Yeah, Wales just put a message in the Discord saying, "You lot have improved a bit too much over Christmas." I think you have as well, mate, to be fair. Not even close to what you're capable of yet, Well. So, just waiting for Taylor and Daguna to come in then. So, let's say we're going to lose Freeman just out in P11. But it's where he needs to be for future races. He's clearly in that range of being able to compete for Q3 spots. Solex as well. On his return, P12, very good grid position on your return there, Solex. Well done, mate. Junkie P13, a bit lower down than I expected after the practice race. And Davey, I think you did yourself proud there, man. And your teammate, who's just scraped through, but he'll be doing fine. It will be movement. And James, I think just unlucky at the end there, just to have a little spin out of the final corner. Would definitely have moved up. He was absolutely on for going into P12. It's just whether he would have gained much more in the final sector. Yeah, definitely the Gooner does bode well for the race. It's hard to see how the field's going to separate. To be honest with you, it's, those are the guys we lose then. So fastest in Q2 was Reed, full half a second up on car seat. Taylor third, the Gooner four, Racing J in fifth. But now's the time where you're really going to see the proper pace of these top guys. The track will have improved that bit more, and that will allow the faster times. Is this where any quali practice that they've done, either on their own or in a group or whatever, is going to pay off, hopefully. Anyway, that's what they're hoping. I'm going to predict pole position at 26.9. And everybody listening to me is just gone, what? No way. But that's my prediction. 26.9. I don't think I'll be far wrong on that. So, looks like the Gooner's going to be first out. Yeah, James, we were actually on board with you, mate. Watched it. So yeah, about 8.5 temps up through sector 2, and obviously you gained a bit more going up to the final corner. You'd have needed a bit more to get through, but you would have gone up to at least P12. So, yeah. At least you know, though, James, that you know now that you actually can compete to maybe get edge into Q3 as we go into the next races. You may just about, you wouldn't have been far off. Not bottle. I did the exact same spin earlier on in the practice race there, James. Exact same spin. So it looks like the Gooner's out first. Reed is second in line. Let's see. Any predictions you guys want to give? Who do you think will take pole position this evening? I think it's going to be very tight. But I'm going to take a stab at Reed. I think Reed will do it. But, let's see. So, as is almost a hilly tradition, we will be watching the man who was first out on track. See, it's almost a bow to my early to middle days of watching F1, where they always watch the first cars out on track, and which is why you used to get teams like, no, it wasn't Williams back in those days, because they would have been one of the top teams, but it would have been, in those days, it would have been your Minardis and Tyrrells and stuff like that would have been pretty much sitting at the end of the pit lane waiting to go out so they could get television time for sponsors. So, it's all very tidy, isn't it? Very tidy indeed. I like watching the. I think generally the onboard's probably a better camera for qualifying, but I do like to have a little look on the broadcast as well, because you can see a lot better, I think, how they're rating the curves and that. And the Gooner gets us started with a 28.6, so a nice lap to get us started. Immediately beaten by Reed, who goes 28.2. 28.3 for car seat. So maybe my 26.9 was a bit over the top. Well, yeah, I think I've got a feeling that maybe I meant a 27.9, but 26.9 maybe a bit over the top. Let's use this. This is movement. I haven't got the details up, have I? How dare I? So 129.5 for movement puts in P8 for the moment. We'll have a lot more in his locker just yet. Whoopi 29.2. We've already seen him go faster than that in both the first two sessions. What you don't know, of course, a lot of the time is you don't know what set of tyres they're using. It's very, very possible that some of these guys are using a used set for the first runs. I think everybody prefers to keep one set back for the race, ideally of softs, just in case you get that safety car that means you have the mad sprint to the end. So, in a way. So, at the end of the first runs then, so very much looks like Gaza and Meatburl are choosing to only do the one run by the looks of things. They've remained in and haven't done a first run. So, at the end of the first run, it's advantage to Alfa Romeo and Reed, who lead the way on a 28.2. I'm still saying this is a lot slower than I expected. 28.3 from car seat, as in P2 at the moment. Racing J 28.5, 28.6 from Daguna, 28.7 well, 28.9 for Taylor. And so the top six all in the 28s currently. Then 29.2 for Whoopi, 29.5 for Movement. And there you have it. Just waiting for the guys to all arrive back to the pits. We'll find out in a minute. Who's going to come out first? We may actually be waiting a few minutes until anybody comes out. Oh, hang on. There's one coming out now, but Racing J's actually gone through and doing another lap. Well, I must admit, Shaz, my prediction was 26.9, and it looks like I'm going to be absolutely miles off. I'm a little surprised at the moment. Gunnar reckons 27.7. Even in McLaren. Such a shame to hear you couldn't race tonight, mate. So Racer J's been around. He's got plenty of time. I think he was probably just messing about a bit and having a bit of practice because he's plenty of time to go back round and get a new set of boots. Already done his actual lap, so. Right. First down track for the second runs then. We've got Reed. Is that Carsey right behind him as well? It is. And with Gaza as well right behind Carsey. Nobody's going to want to give another driver a tow all the way down the straight, are they? So, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. It's the last thing Reed's going to want is to give Carsey a tow. I won't be surprised to see Reed speed off a little bit here to try and stop that from happening. I would think, going by that view, that Carsey's probably too far behind to get one. Gaza isn't. Look, Gaza is playing games. Gaza's going to get a tow off of Carsey all down the straight. So, Reed turn one. Very unusual to see somebody staying fourth around turn one. I've seen that. That's a technique that we saw a lot last season from French man. I've forgotten his name. Oh dear. Danny. He didn't ever really gear down lower than fourth. Good so far. Careful. Nicely done. And two sets of two, right, just under 4 attempts up. 27.8 is looking possible, but don't ever use this as an actual measuring stick, but it does look to me like Carsey's a bit further away now than he was at the start of the lap, but Said don't use that as a measuring stick, could be completely wrong. So Reed improves to a 27.8. Carsey is into the pits, so he wasn't happy with a lap. Gaza, I didn't quite get to in time, but he's with his toe down the main straight from Carsey. He's improved into P7. I don't think that Carsey's got enough time to get into the garage and get a new set of boots, so it might be quite close. I don't know. Let's have a quick look at Carsey. Where is he? He is being pushed into the garage. If he's really quick about this, he actually might be able to get back out again, but it's going to be tight. He literally just needs to go bang, new set of tyres and get out. He can't mess about with any of the setup or anything. Who's on a lap then? Is anybody on a lap? Yes, this man is. So, this man's heading for the line movement to 28.7. It's in P6 for the moment. So I just started a lap. Carsey, oh, he's got back on track. It's going to be so tight, I think, for Carsey whether he can actually get over the line to start another lap. It's going to be really tight. Doesn't, you've got to think that Reed's going to take. I'm really thinking that I've got my times wrong when for Bahrain. So, a little bit sketchy so far through this lap. Yeah, Shaz, so yeah, he's done that second run. He want a second quicker, but you may well have been right. I think some of the runs would have been on used sets for the first runs. Taylor across the line goes P6 on a 28.7 with the start from Taylor, and Laguna's into the pits. Racing J P3 28.3. Who's on the way? Must be Moomin, but he's coming into the pits, of course. This is Meatbro. So I'm just looking. Carsey did make it across the line. So we will immediately go to him next. Just see this man over the line, 28.449. Looks him in P5. It's going straight to Carsey, although Whoopi is also on a lap. He's just heading into the final corner. I'll keep an eye on the timings and see how he does. He's currently 29.252. Crosses the line, it goes up to P7 on a 28.7. So improved by 5.5 tenths. And this man is improving, but not the sort of improvement required to take pole. And the fact that everybody else is finished means he's going to be P2 anyway. Let's see what he manages across the line. It's 28.1. So not just pole position in the end for Reed, but a dominant pole position. And I need to recheck my times on Bahrain. I've honestly thought we were going to get down towards 26s, but I think I must have it wrong. I think I'm second out on what to expect around here. Okay, anyway, guys, there's our top 10. So congratulations to Reed on taking the first pole position of the new season. Superb run from him, and a dominant pole position too. Carsey P2, Racing J in third, very much a usual top three really from last season's. Mr. Welling for the boss man. I think that is a testament to his improvement during the holidays in Meatborough P5. I think going through the season we'll probably see him a bit higher or challenging for poles, but still good to see him in the top five on the first race. Um, right. Well, if nothing else, the grid is tight enough that it should be a really good race. Perhaps we're fighting throughout the field from what we've seen. Not expecting the field to completely separate out, to be quite honest with you. But we'll see. Never, whatever you think's going to happen, very seldom does happen. So um, let's just see. What I'd like is to see all 20 drivers get home tonight. That would be an awesome. Shaz, your TT is high 27s. In that case, because I know your pace from commentating on you, because I was thinking my TT was low 27s, but in that case, I think I must be a second out. I think my TT must be a low 28 instead. Um, and I think I was just, yeah, I must have just been out by a second of what I was thinking and what it actually is. That's all. But there we go then. All right then, guys. As always, we will be carrying on to take a break from between qualifying and race. So I'm going to do that to grab myself a coffee before my throat dries out too much, and I'll be back with you before the race starts. So see you in a moment. Right, guys, I'm back with you. Shouldn't be too long now before the radio comes out. But there you go from Daguner. Look, he's actually told me he was a 28-2 I saw earlier. Thank you, Daguner. So yeah, I was a second out on what I thought it was. That teaches me a lesson not to check beforehand and do your research, doesn't it? Eh? Um, come up to the start. Let's go. So excited. Oh, good news tonight with the we will be able to do the interviews after the race tonight as well, which is great news. I worked on Friday. I did them for PRF1, so no reason they wouldn't work tonight, which is great news. So there'll be podium interviews after the race. So quick gander at the Discord, see if there's anything in there. The timer is starting. Here we go then. Let's see our first formation lap of the season. So last time, let's get a seat for front. You love Monaco, are you insane? I'm scared to go there as a commentator. You want to go there as a racer? Wow, unbelievable. Right, let's have a gander at the tyres. Well, really glad to see no flashes of red come up there, so no soft tyres. Deliberately in the practice race earlier, I had a look at what a two-stop's like, and I can tell you it's horrendous. So it's so much slower than a one-stop. It's just not worth it. There's a couple of drivers see themselves get disqualified from the formation lap. So Freeman and Sol X will have slightly cold tyres for the starts. That's the only penalty they'll receive for that. In a way, looking at the tyres, the top 5 all opt in for hards. Then you got Daguna on the mediums, Whoopi on the mediums, Taylor on the mediums. So it may help those guys in being able to make a place or two up at the starts. Then as you go down, it transfers back to hard tyres. So Moomin, Gaza, the 2 that have been disqualified, and Junkie Emperor all opt in for the hard tyres to start. Perfectly normal to see that. And then we've got a run of medium tyres then, which is a little bit surprising. I don't know. I guess you kind of want to go opposite too. But we've got a very 50-50 split pretty much between the two compounds. Lego Lamb at the back opts in for the hards, which is probably the right thing to do. It's the only problem. Pretty much the going hards first is pretty much the right strategy in terms of being able to complete the race in the fastest time possible now, but there's always that chance of a safety car at the wrong time benefiting the guys that start on the mediums. That's right. Some drivers won't do it, and can't blame them. So predicted stop strategy, lap 13 to 17. I think you're going to be on the lower end of that. I think 17 is way too much, way too high. I think you're more likely to be somewhere between 12 and 15, if I'm quite honest. We'll see. Let's pick one. Here's one of our new guys for tonight. So lights come on, and out they go, and we start as Whale well. I don't know if he flew off the line or everybody else just seemed to not move, to be quite honest with you. But Nate Brill did not get a good start at all. And, he's made some contacts as well. A bit of argy-bargy going down into turn 1. Just come back out of that. And, Sasha changes up. So, Whoopi's up a couple. Racer J's up 1. Well, despite the way he launched off the line, he's actually fallen back down. Oh, Whoopi's ended up round. And he's ghosted. Glad to see. And he's going to end up down at the back. But he's not the only one. Moomin is dropping as well. Oh, goodness me, guys. What is going on? There's contacts all over the place at the moment. Soklovic has had a severe collision with Gaza and picks up 5 seconds. Oh, Lego Lamage just saying thank you very much and is up 6 places from the back. That's somebody else now as well. That's Freeman. I think there might be some tickets tonight, guys, for this first lap. This is a bit of an atrocious first lap. Racing J, in his usual style, has absolutely launched off the line and taken the lead of the race. Reed in P2, Carsey P3, Laguna in 4, up 2 places, by the way. Wales dropped 1 now down to P5. I can't believe the launch we saw from Wales, but he just seemed to... I think he got too close to the car in front and had to slow it. And it ruined it a bit for him. That is Laguna going onto the inside of Carsey on the lead. Down to turn 1 and takes the place off of Carsey. Nice move from Laguna. And using his tower advantage to full effect there. And so, first lap pitters, we've got Oozers is in, Gaz is in. So, despite all those contacts, those are the only drivers that have actually pitted at the end of the first lap. Which seems pretty remarkable, considering the amount of contacts there were. Whoopi saying he can't switch gear. Whoopi, I don't know if that's still happening and you can hear me, but if that's what I would do, mate, is I would leave the lobby and rejoin. If that's doing that. Because, well, quite honestly, I don't know what else to do. So, here we go then. Laguna, very much on the back of Reed now for P2. Sorry, I'm just going to nip down because there is a little battle here. As Meat Brawl is already back up into P5, by the way. Taylor running on P6. Top group maybe just starting to stretch out a little bit, and I think nominally, I think the contacts that were made on lap 1 is what's actually made the grid stretch out a bit. But Racing J is round. He's recovered it back to track and slots in just ahead of Solex. So he's recovered it in P8. That was from the lead, and he pulled out a lead as well. Straight in for Racing J, but he's been around long enough. He knows it's early doors yet. No need to panic yet. Very early doors. This particular one we're watching, we can see lots of cars in this shot, but the actual battle we're watching is Taylor and Meat Burl. We're still going at it. These are the top 5. Just saw at the bottom of your screen because of the spin from Racing J, who's just gotten back past Davey there for P7. Shout out to Davey, he's running high, isn't he? Just goes to show if you avoid the problems, avoid the incidents and everything, you get yourself up the order somewhat. So Taylor sets fastest lap then. And Reed and Laguna into turn 1. Laguna showing the pace he did in the practice race. I have to say he was looking very, very quick in the practice race, and it's enabled Carsey to have a look at Reed going up into turn 4 as well. And through goes Carsey. So Reed drops 2 places in a short space of time. But if he can just settle in now and hopefully not lose out to Meat Brawl, but if he can settle in, he's not in a bad place where he is, because he'll kind of be able to react to what Carsey's doing in terms of pit stops. Obviously, with Laguna, we know he's on mediums. He'll be pitting somewhere around lap 12, 13, something like that. He'll be in that region, maybe a bit later. will probably most likely depend on how his tyres are managing against the cars around him as to when he pits. Unless it's a safety car at some point in the next about 6 laps, and then just pitting away and go on to the hards. We do have a spinner, which is Whoopi. I don't know if he's still having the problem with the gear or... Careful. So, it's back up and running in a way. Just stick with this because I think it may lead to an overtake. So there's one a bit further up, moving back into P12, getting past Baz. As he has nipped to the inside of our operator, and I think he's going to have it done before the braking zone. So the DRS assisted there. That was Lego Lamb. Was also having a little look, but didn't quite manage to get alongside. So Whoopi through back into P15, and he'll now look ahead of him for Freeman. And we can move back up. Need to see some of these midfield pair up few group as well, and this is one. Lucky James. Yeah, so since we last saw Davey, Solex and Junkie have managed to get ahead of him. Whether that was a mistake from Davey or whether that was just that he was overtaken on track, I don't know. James was getting onto the back of him then, but a little moment in that heavy braking left-hander. Such a difficult turn now because you're turning and braking, which is so difficult to do in an F1 car. You can't plant the brake pedal down. If you plant the brake pedal, you'll lock your wheels up. So you just can't do it. As car seat goes back ahead of the Gunner. Now, is that our first sign of the hards becoming competitive against the mediums? Or is it purely because Carsey had DRS? I guess we'll see by the fact of whether the Gunner can go back at him. So you're expecting the medium tyre guys, I'm expecting around about lap 12, 13. Which in turn means you're expecting the hard guys in around about lap 17-ish. Either side of that. But, occasionally you might see a hard tyre starter push their stint out and go to softs later on. The problem with that for me is that the stint I did in the practice race on softs, that they were going really... I did 7 laps on them, but if I'm absolutely honest, they felt like they were going after 5, so I don't think I'd recommend doing a switch to softs later on. So this battle continues, and of course the problem Taylor's got is that Meatball's got DRS off of Reed ahead of him, so it's just a bit of a DRS train. Now, looks like Taylor is having to use his energy in order to stay on the back of the field, on the back of this group. He's very low on energy, as Taylor, and to be fair to him, the whole group is. Carson's got the most at 40%, but Reed's got the second most. But nobody keeping loads, are they? As Whale and Racing J look like they're going out. I think this is Racing J having caught back up to Whale. Tyre-wise, they both started on the hard tyres, so no difference in tyres. That is Racing J going to have a look here. I'd have thought not. Expecting just to use it as a way of getting close to the back of Wales' car, but not as a way of overtaking just there. It's quite frankly, F1 drivers are greedy, so he wants DRS on the main straight. Good thing, DRS down the main straight, it's got to be worth half a second along this straight. maybe even a bit more, 6 or 7 attempts maybe, 6 attempts I would say, be my guess. Well, just edged away a little bit there. I still think he's close enough. Oh, no problem at all, look, no problem at all. Didn't even have to use the energy. Just a bit to start it straight, but yeah, maybe he should have used some energy, because Wells coming back at him. He's going to have to do it up into turn 4 now, is he? He's going to have another go. Well, looks to switch back. But I don't think he's got the run on him. And we'll settle in. If I was well there, I'd be quite happy to settle in behind Racing J. You know, got a driver who's, you know full well, he's got good pace in him ahead of you now. And you can literally use the driver to tow you around the track. Which I think you'll see Well doing now. Well has really conserved his energy very well in this early parts of the race, so he's got the energy to aid him in trying to stay on the back of Racing J as well. But ideally he wants to just... Oh, as Racing J goes round. Second spin. Second spin of the race for Racing J, unfortunately. But, he gets back up and running just in front of Davey. But, what a shame. This group of 5, though, have really... Reed goes to the inside of the Gooner. Takes such a line to stop the Gooner coming back in. The Gooner's going to get DRS up to turn 4. Oh, no. No, Reed got it. Okay. I expected the Gooner to get the DRS then, but didn't. Reed had it. So that would have obviously made it a lot easier to consolidate the position. But this is all important what Daguna's doing now. Obviously, he's on the medium tyres. He's getting towards the end of the stint. He's not there yet, but he's getting towards the end. The mediums are becoming a bit more difficult to drive now. There's the hards are pretty much in their comfort zone right now. And but he's doing what he's got to do, and he's not just getting out of the way. He's not just saying, do you know what, my tyres are going on, I'm going to get out of the way. He's not doing that, because this is important. Any little bits of time that you can take out of these guys now could be very important for later in the race. It's certainly important for Carsey, because it's allowing Carsey to disappear at the road at the minute. 2.6 second lead. And now Reed is out though into P2. See if there's anything that Reed can do about that. Won't be easy, we know that. It's Racing J goes to the inside. And that's on the final corner, interestingly. And a lovely little switchback from James. Both have got DRS. Presumably off the McLaren. Stay side by side. Good racing. No contact I could see. In the end, I think Racing J then has... Yeah, they both got DRS again, so surely Racing J will consolidate that position. And is into P10. Next up the road for him is Moomin. It don't get easier, does it? Tell you what, that's going to be one thing. And there's bound to be races through the season where some of these sort of guys that are at the top on a race-to-race basis are going to have to make their way through the field, and it doesn't suggest that it's going to be an easy thing to do this season at all. We'll have to see. And Gooner, oh no, he's round. Gooner as well goes past. You recover it there, and that looks to me, it's that right-hander where I mentioned in qualifying you have to avoid the inside curb as... we've lost Whoopi. That could be a safety car, you know. Oh, Daguna, you are saved. Can you believe that? Oh, he's really hit something, Whoopi, there. Oh, goodness me. He's really cracked the wall or something. He's definitely hit something. Oh, Oozers picks up a drive-through. This car is still there. Look, it's in pieces. Goodness me. Really managed to go round and crack the wall. Well, in comes most of the drivers. Well, it's got to be said, the hard drivers are in a real predicament here. They really are. Where are the top guys at the moment? Coming round, they haven't hit the safety car. I think, guys, I think they will pit because I can't see what else they can do. They gain absolutely nothing from staying out. They're just going to have a group of really fast cars behind them on fresh tyres. I think they have to pit. I mean, for Taylor, it's an absolute no-brainer. He's on mediums. He definitely pits. But I think even those that started on the hards are going to have to pit this lap. Now begs the question, did anybody that started on the hards, by any chance, pack a second set of hards? It's not ideal, but they could potentially pit to softs and mediums and then pit back to hards again. Fresh set, obviously. Certainly can't do that. I don't know what that was about. I assume they were having a bit of a joke with each other. Yeah, so pit stops happening then. Carsey's gone to softs. So, I mean, that completely shows his intent straight away. I can't blame him. It's so hard to know. Well's gone to softs. Racing J's gone to softs. It's really mucking their strategies up. Personally... Oh, Solex has been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. Well, that's frustrating for him. Don't know how that's happened. I can only assume that it must have been pretty close between him and Carsey on the pit exit, I would have thought. So, Carsey, Reed, Meatborough. Well, the honest truth is, Reed and Meatborough are going to try and go to the end of the race from here. Can they do it? Honest answer to that question is yes, I think they can. But at the same time, their mediums will be absolutely screaming by the end of it. Oh, hang on. A message. It's just come up in the Discord from Carsey saying, why have they put softs on? So yeah, no way softs are going to the end, Shaz, you're right. Well, I assumed that they were going to do soft to medium from here, but going by the comment that Carsey's just put up in the chat, in the Discord, said, why have they put softs on? I think, surely not all of them were mistakes like that, were they? Yeah, so I sent a little message from Whoopi. I think it looks like the thing he put in chat about not being able to switch gear appears to be the reason he's ended up. His car was torn off, so I assume it's led to him losing it at some point. But go. Well, clearly the game's playing a bit of silly buggers here. You've got Whoopi, who wasn't able to change gear. You've got Carsey is the only one we know of, but Carsey is pitted. Supposed to be going to mediums, but it's stuck softs on. And he's the only one that we know of, but there's others on softs, so it's possible there are others. And you got Solex, who's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. Without a doubt, Shaz. Without a doubt. It's... Yeah. I mean, the guys that have switched to mediums are not in a particularly ideal situation. We've seen from Daguna that those mediums do start going after... They like, look to me from Daguna that they started to go after about 8 or 9 laps. But I do think they'll be able to push them to the end. Whereas Carsey now, obviously, is going to have a lovely, fast set of tyres underneath him to restart this. But it's the pit stop ain't exactly small around here, is it? It's about 21, 22 seconds. So, it's not one of the longest ones of the season, but it's not one that really one of the... It's somewhere in the average range, I would have said. But, yeah, I think it's damage limitation. Just got to put it down to one of these things. One of those things is, for some reason, Mick Burrell and Reed have just swapped positions under safety car. What's that back? So, and now it's telling... I think now it's telling Reed he's got to give that position back. And look, it's causing issues. And I suspect... but the stewards are going to want to see something. Mick Burrell gives it back by going off track to allow Reed back through. He may have just got himself out of a penalty there, Mick Burrell, by doing that, to be honest. Because stewards would definitely have been looking at that otherwise. But by giving the position back, by going off track, he's probably got himself out of trouble there. Just building up for the restart then. It will be this lap. Safety car will come in this lap. So actually hasn't opted to pit and go to mediums. I don't think. I think all he can do now really is push these softs as hard as he can and hope that he can stretch the gap out down the field a little bit so that he doesn't, when he does pit, he doesn't come out so far down. We know Oozers has got a drive-through. I don't know if any of these others picked up drive-throughs. And no, they didn't. So it's just Oozers, unfortunately, who's picked up the drive-through. Yeah, Dagumner, Taylor. I wouldn't be too shocked if Reed and Mick Burrell can push these mediums out and keep enough pace in them to be able to stay away from the other guys. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting as we get back underway. Doesn't look like NBA really has a run. I think Taylor's had a little bit look at Mick Burrell, but back out of it. He's got a decent run out. Oh, he's round. Oh, I don't know whether that was just because he had the power down going onto the curb out of turn 3 or if there may have been a little bit of contact. I'm not sure. So that takes, fortunately, that takes Mackenzie Taylor out of the running. There's a nice little move there from Wales to get ahead of Daguna. Well, another one like Carson that's, whether intentionally or not, has switched to soft tyres. I must admit, in the practice race we did beforehand, because I mentioned earlier on, I wanted to see how the two-stop would perform around here, and it didn't work at all. But regardless of that, the game did change my strategy on its own without asking me. I selected the strategy to start on softs and go soft, medium, medium. But the game itself just swaps it to me switching to hards. It was only by chance that I looked and saw that it was on hards instead of mediums, just that stops it from happening. So the game can change strategies, but it's supposed to come up asking you. It's supposed to have your engineer supposed to come up and say, "We have a new strategy option for you," and then you decide whether to accept that change or decline it. But unfortunately, it appears that the game's now deciding to make changes without even telling you. It's obviously frustrating for anybody that it affects. As you can see, they're all so tight at the moment. Trying to pick a potential overtake out of all this group is very difficult to do. I think if we got a best... Oh, let me just go back to that because that was getting a bit close. Yeah, Racing J out the inside, then a Dagooner on the small straight. But again, Racing J is another one that's gone to soft, so don't read too much into that. It's not really a lot of place for Dagooner. Of course, when those guys pit, you'll get all those places back. So don't read too much into that at all. But there was another little battle going on down here. I think he's got past as well. I think it was Freeman catching the back of Davey. So I think Freeman's got past, and that's that done. Carsey set fastest lap of the race there. You'd think it'd still be beaten later in the race by one of these guys that are going to have to pit for mediums. Now, I did say at the start of the race, when we were having a little look through the tyres at the start of the race, and you know who was starting on what tyre and all that, and I did mention that I think it's pretty much accepted now that the hard to medium is the best strategy on the game for pretty much every track. The problem with that strategy is if you get a poorly timed safety car, and there's quite a big group of laps where that safety car could come out for it to be a poorly timed one, which is what we've seen. Basically, a safety car has come out at the absolute wrong time for anybody that started on hard tyres. So, which was after field. It's struggling a bit for battles. Freeman has caught the back of James as Whale is into the pits, and he's only completed 6 laps. I said earlier, I did 7 in the practice race, so yeah, I'm not surprised to see Whale in after 6. Splits the laps pretty evenly for the medium tyres as well, so yeah, I don't think we see too much longer from the rest of them either. As you can see, that has dropped Whale down. He is going to lose out to Lego Lamb, so it's dropped him all the way down to P17, and he's going to have to get those tyres going again. Up to temperature, so it might work out alright for him because Lego Lamb also on the soft, so come the end of this lap Lego Lamb probably pits and gets out his way, if that's early enough for Whale, that is. Anyway, Freeman past James. What else we got going on? Suddenly Moomin and... oh, there's a yellow, I think it's Oozers, unfortunately. It is. Yeah. Tough time out tonight, Oozers. He'd been... for the time, if you remember all the way back to the start now, he was one of the 2 drivers that had to pit right at the start. And he'd been hoping for a safety car pretty much for ages after, and then when it came, he accidentally picked up a drive-through. So these things happen. It's just a shame for him. But into the pits then is Carsey. How far down the order is he going to drop? And, oh, I've got a bad feeling he's going to hit the exit right on a group of cars here. Ricard, they might go past him actually. I think they're going to go past him. He's going to probably be fighting with Soklovic on the exit. There you go. There's Karsi, there's Soklovic. You want to get those up to temperature quickly. You don't want to drop behind Soklovic. And oh, little moment there for Karsi. So the tyres would have been cold going on. So Legoland, by the way, didn't pit at the end of that lap. So Whale is having to make his way past him on track. So not ideal for Whale. It wouldn't have been so bad if Legoland had pitted that lap. But not ideal for him at all. So there we have it. Let's look a bit further up then. So Racing J at the moment. I mean, his softs seems to still be getting decent lap times out of him. I wonder if he's thinking of doing a double soft stint. So 2 soft stints. The thing is, surely he'd not got the tyres to do that. He would have, at least one of the sets that he'd be using, he would have used in qualifying. So it's hard to imagine into the pits he comes in a way. Now we know that Karsi had a little bit of a moment on his outlap. He's serving a penalty is Racing J. So yeah, I was wondering if he might get out ahead of Karsi, but obviously not. Karsi goes through now. Well's going to go through as well. And the work starts again for Racing J. So now, our leaders then. So the soft tyre drivers are pretty much out of the way. You've got Freeman still going to need to pit, as is Legoland. But other than that, and now you've got the medium drivers up the front. With Reed leading from Meatborough, and Moomin in P3, the Gooner in 4. But the Gooner is the highest of the hard tyre drivers. So looking good. The only problem for the Gooner at the moment is that the front 2 have pulled out a 3.5 second lead. Now, well, in fact, sorry, to Daguna, that lead is actually 6.3 seconds, so that is a lot of time that he's going to have to make up when these mediums begin to go. So, for me, I think the Shaz, I think the power shifted a bit. I think the 2 at the front now are our favourites. I think Moomin is probably in Daguna's range, but the 2 at the very front, for me, I think are probably bit far off. Sorry if I've missed any comments. My stream had paused itself on the phone. I've just started up again. Nothing's coming up, so I don't think I have. Yeah, there you go. Shaz it. Yeah, thank you. Just let me know that I'm up to date on comments as well. So yeah, I agree, definitely. So these 2 at the moment just seem like they're sort of going around in uniform. They're not look like Meatball's really putting Reed under. I'm sure Reed feels like he's under plenty of pressure, but to us it doesn't look like he's putting him under too much. But look down the order. I want to keep an eye on other battles as well. Baz. Yeah, let's go down to that because I'm not seeing Baz really. He's on the back of Davey. Got little runner cars here. You've got Baz, Taylor, Gaza. He's fighting back, having pitted first lap. Horrendous angle there, thank you for that, Codys. Baz then nips ahead of Davey on the straight with a DRS. Oh, Davey, that's a little look back. Door closes, it's a tiny bit of contact, nothing to really write home about. And the position is won by Baz, but look, Taylor coming up the inside now as well. Careful. It's alright, he's going to get a better exit out of there, and it looks like Davy's going to have to concede that, and he's going to come straight under pressure from Gaza as well. Oh my goodness. Davy's going to feel a bit like a piñata in there, getting bashed about. Well, not quite, he didn't get bashed about. I don't know what I meant then. Multiple positions, unlucky Davy. I think once one got through, they all wanted to come through. I feel a bit sorry for Davy on that one. Carsey was one of those, and he's also passed Gaza as well. Carsey is going to be going nuts with the engineers at the end of this. Be fuming. There's a yellow flag out there, but I think that was Freeman. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think it might have been Freeman that caused the yellow flag by getting out of the way of Racing J, and Lego Lamb's nipped through at the same time. I might be wrong, but Lego Lamb, he's done a 12 laps he's done on those softs. He tried to get to the end, ladies and gentlemen. He had to go. But, right, these mediums then, they're 11 laps old now. 11 and a half laps. They should be beginning to struggle a bit, as I think Gaza has had a moment a bit further down. Yeah, he has. He's dropped to P13. He was up in that group with Carsey and that. As Taylor gets ahead of Baz. It's all happening. Why does everything happen at the same time? Can't keep up. Hey, Hydro. Yeah, they are speedy. Thanks, Hydro. Yeah, Carsey is ridiculous, and by all rights should be leading this race, but the game had any other ideas when it put him onto the wrong tyres earlier on. So Whale looks like he's the latest to go past Baby. There he is in his beautiful Williams. And he'll get off after Baz now. So this is the one advantage for these drivers. They're having a bit of fun, in a way, making their way back through the field on their better tyres. So that is one thing that could be said for it. Maybe a game's mistake, but at least they're having a bit of fun now. I don't imagine it's not going to be too long until Carsey is onto the back of James, and I wouldn't imagine there's going to be a lot that James is going to be able to do. Obviously, Carsey on 5-lap mediums to James 13-lap old hards, as Whale has just gotten past Baz. It's just him now completing the move, and next up the road for him is Taylor. It's not worked out for Taylor. It's him and the Gooner that we were looking at after the pit stops were looking like they were potential favourites to win the race. Obviously, Taylor had the penalty, so we thought it would probably be the Gooner if either of them. But it hasn't turned out like that, or at least it's not so far. Taylor now. We know Taylor had a spin earlier on, didn't we? That's what dropped Taylor away. It's a spin. If I remember rightly, yeah, it was. In fact, it was just here, wasn't it? I wasn't too sure if it was a contact with another driver or putting a bit of power down on the curve that threw him across the track. But anyway, it's not done that to Carsey, and Carsey has recovered now to P6. He's got 2.5 seconds to make up to Junkie. Just looking down, looks unfortunately like the yellow flag there is Lego Lamb. He's Oozers goes past and gains a position. So Oozers up to P17 on his 22 lap old hard tyres. So just looking for a little battle for us, but well, look at this though at the front. Reed has, for the first time, gone out of the 1 second. He's doing all he can to just try and stop Meatbro getting straight back in the 1 second by picking up the toe. And, ooh, immediate, well, what's happened there? Quickly nipped down at my phone and all of a sudden Meatbro's lost another second, so I don't know if he had a little moment there. If you guys saw that. Or is that the first sign of tyres beginning to go? Maybe Meatbro's tyres are going first. It's hard to know. Let's go on board, see if we can see anything. Yeah, I mean, pretty steady power-wise through the right hand there. He doesn't look like he's really in any sort of panic mode, so stays out as well. So I think they maybe just had a little wobbly moment or something. The tyres seem to still be acting or working pretty well, but this sort of medium tyre degradation, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Okay, to be fair to Daguna, the 3 guys ahead of him that we're looking at for the degradation are really quick drivers. So, I mean, it could be that the tyres are degrading. It's just that they're so fast that we're not seeing it. You know, as you know, I know. I mean, I know what I'm trying to say. I hope you guys understand what I mean. But Taylor has a look back at Whale there, but ultimately, Whale's got by far the superior tyres, and there's just nothing that Taylor's going to be able to do. And I've got to give Parsi a little bit of a shout out and a fair play to him. He's stuck with it despite the game giving him the wrong tyre, and he's fought back up to 5th. It looks like that will probably be the you know, barring a spin ahead of him or something like that. Looks like that will be the maximum he can do, but fair play to him. It's a battle between Well and Taylor. Since we were up with Meat Brody, he's actually closed the gap to Reed again a little bit more. 4 or 5 tenths closer now. But, ultimately, you think it's probably too late now. This lap and one more to the end. Yes, of course, Shaz, less fuel. So obviously mean that the car's lighter, and therefore shouldn't be working the tyres as hard as at the start of the race. And yeah, you're absolutely right, and yeah, perhaps that's had quite an effect on it. So these guys are giving us a little battle, although I am tempted. There is actually a little battle going on right at the back. And remember, the rules have changed in WAOF1 this year, so that anybody finishing will score points. See, last year it was just top 10, but this season it is anybody who finishes will score. So Here's the moment Canuza's hold. Lam off up the inside. He's got that position. Ultimately, of course, Oozers on 26 lap hold. Hard. Got to give it to Oozers. Nobody else has done a stint like that, have they? He's the tyre whisperer this evening. That's what he's going to get. He's going to get my tyre whisperer reward at the end. But, incredibly, what the safety car seems to have done is spread the field out. I don't know how a safety car does that. But we seem to be perfectly alright for battles beforehand. As Racing J has a go into turn 1 against Operator. And that's one more place regained. Of course, it's easy to forget now that we're on the last lap, but Racing J did his trademark takeoff on the line and took the lead, and we're at a 2-second gap. Like it was nothing. He just flew out into the lead. Absolutely flew. He created a couple of seconds before, unfortunately, having a spin, which drops him down. I can't remember now, but I think it was bound to about P8, something like that. And unfortunately, it's just been one of those races for Racing J. But what he has shown is that he has got the pace, plenty of pace. As Reed then crosses the line to win in Bahrain. Meat Burl P2, Moomin fills the podium. De Gooner in a brilliant P4. Wasn't to be in the end. We thought he might be able to do it being the man that was on the hards, but didn't work out. Carsey nicks the fastest lap on the final lap and takes P5. He's done really well to fight back to there, to be fair to him, but I think the game's got a lot to answer for. He's got maybe sack a few engineers tonight. Junkie P6, James P7, Whale in P8, Baz P9, Taylor P10. That is after his penalty. Racing J then P11, Davey in 12, Gaza 13, Operator 14, Freeman 15. Oh, hang on, no. Soklovic P15, Freeman due to his penalty down to 16, and Lego Lamb is going to come across in P17 with Oozers, whose tyres are literally crying as they go round yet another lap. I never knew tyres could cry until I saw Oozers do 27, well 28 laps it will be, around Bahrain on a set of hards. Orange front wing for Taylor, was it? Dear, Taylor, driver of the day. Yeah, I think he's got to be in with a shout. But, do you know what? You're asking a question. I've got to come up with one. Let me have a little think. A moment. Let me have a little think. I will definitely award a driver of the day. And don't forget, we got the podium interviews to do as well. Celebrate with real, is it real champagne in Bahrain or is it the fake stuff? I can't remember. I can't remember if they're allowed to drink or not in Bahrain. In a way, that's the podium celebrations completed and come to the standings. So we've already been through the drivers. This is confirmation of the fastest lap for car seat. But yeah, no, I think with this having come up, I think that my driver of the day today is going to go to one of the Haas drivers. Yeah, now my driver of the day is going to go to James today on his debut, P15 to P7. And yeah, I think that's deserved. There we have it. But let me just quickly nip through all of those and quickly do the just quickly scroll through the incidents as well in case the users need them. Actually, not that many, not really. Not for a 50% race, it's not too bad. Yeah, I think the main things that stewards may be looking at or be asked to look at will be things that happened on the first lap, I would say. There was a lot of collisions on the first lap, so that may have to be picked apart a little bit. Yeah, absolutely, Daguna, fair play to them. It didn't seem to go off at all. It seems to be running perfectly fine on them, which is a bit surprising. Right, let's get the top 3 in then. So, right, Meaty Barrel, let's invite. What am I doing? Right, invite to a party. Moment. Ah. Moment, are you not on Xbox Moment? Where's Reed gone? Hello. Just give me a second, mate, while I try and get others in. I think Reed's forgotten about me. And right, Moment. Yeah. He's joined. Moment's showing offline. Hopefully he's not. Ah, there we go. Right, okay. First of all then, guys, if you just make sure that you've included your audio for me, please. Okay. And I'll just make sure. Oh, hang on. There we go. It wasn't going to work because I hadn't pressed the button. There we go. Now it should be fine. Excellent.
Yeah.
Right then. Well, let's come to P3 first. So, Moment. Brilliant race from you today. I think you did really, really well. There was a lot of carnage on lap 1, but you avoided all of it, I think. And stuck to your guns. Maybe a bit of luck because of the game giving Carsey softs instead of mediums, but ultimately you've done what you can do. You got to do, and you've held in there for a podium, mate. So well done. How was it?
As you said, the first lap I spun and I was almost lost, so I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
But
you did.
I don't know how I ended up on the podium because maybe because when the safety car came out, I was like, "Am I going to pit or?" But I pitted off the lap after, and that was a good choice because then I saw all the people with soft. They had to pit again, and too bad that the strategy guy at their team doesn't do what they supposed to do. But it was a fun race and good battles. It was clean. At least around me, it was really clean. So
Yeah, in all fairness, there was a bit of argy-bargy going on first lap. There's some maybe a bit of rustiness, should we call it? And but then actually, once we got past that, it generally was clean. To be fair,
yeah.
Very little going on after that. So despite the fact there was lots and lots of battling, but yeah. So well done, mate, on P3 for the start of the season. What do you think your aims are? I think I've read them out last week, but just to sort of check with you, what do you think your aims are going to be for the season?
Continue to score points and do better quality because today it was lousy.
Excellent. Okay, mate. On to Meat Bro. Actually, I don't know if I've ever talked to you before. I'm not too sure.
I don't recall it anyway.
No. Okay. Well, hey, I'm Hilly, and welcome to the podium interviews. Congratulations on P2.
Thanks a lot, man.
It was really close with you and Reedy at the end there. But there's a moment you just felt a couple of seconds behind. I don't know if you had a little moment at turn 1 or 2 or something like that, but you just suddenly felt 2 seconds behind. I thought maybe it was a sign that your tyres were going first, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I think it was just one of those. I kind of lost the rear a little bit and had to catch it, and that's the main reason. I don't know. I was nursing the tires quite badly. I decided right after the safety car that because it was going to be quite a long stint, and I knew that the rears were quite quickly around here, so I decided to to change my brake bias to 52, so I could save the rears a little bit more.
right.
But yeah, wasn't enough, unfortunately. But I'm still happy, considering I've driven about 5 laps around here in total on this game,
Oh, there you are. So
like
yeah,
properly.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, I'm happy regardless. Reed was unfortunately just too quick today.
yeah. No, in that case, fantastic result. I think what everybody would want me to ask you is, do you think you're going to be in for the season this season?
That's definitely the plan. To be a lot more involved this season and try and be around as much as possible.
Brilliant.
Obviously, I'm not going to be able to be there every week. That's why I'm a reserve. But the plan is definitely to be a lot more be a more of a frequent sight on the grid than last season anyway.
Brilliant.
And try and get a race win as well is probably one of the
Of
goals.
course, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great news. And just on the little side thing, well done to you and Carsey earlier on in the world thing. I don't
Yeah,
really know what it is,
thanks
but
a lot, man.
well done. You both did well. Um,
Thank you.
okay,
Well done.
to our race winner then. So, Mr. Reed, um,
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, I can. That famous Irish accent. Um, congratulations.
Northern
man.
Irish. Northern Irish.
Oh yes, Northern Irish. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
goodness
So
me.
you get yourself in trouble for saying that over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, mate. I'll do better in future. Um, what was I
What
going
are
to
you
say?
doing?
Anyway, yeah, congratulations, by the way, on winning the race. Fantastic result, mate. To be quite honest, you drove superbly. You were brilliant in qualifying. Actually took pole by a good quarter of a second, I think it was, maybe even a bit more than that. And yeah, so Racing J did as usual, absolutely launch off the line. Whale did as well, actually, but he got stuck behind another car, but he actually flew off the line quicker than anyone. But Racing J absolutely flew off into the distance at the start, but then had a spin, and from there it's your job to sort of take over, really, until Carsey did. But Carsey's engineers were idiots,
Yeah.
so there you go. But you still had to fight off Meat Bro brilliantly
Yeah.
later on. So yeah, I would say talk us through it, but I think I just did. So how was it, mate?
It's pretty stressful. I had a chest infection and blood vessels and stuff have burst, so I haven't been that well this week.
Dear.
And it's been a bit tricky, but definitely stressful, very nervous. The leg shaking and stuff. So, you have to. I'm learning to deal with that sort of pressure. Difficult, but I enjoyed it. But I felt like I could have lost it at any point.
Yeah,
And Meatball, I knew how strong he would be. Carsey, Racing J, I knew those guys would be. It could be anybody's turn.
yeah,
I knew that. I think in a way I got lucky, but at the same time, you have to do the business as opposed to it being all about luck.
yeah, yeah. I think he deserves a shout out as well because he finished fourth, and I think the Gunner, particularly in the first stint, showed some really good pace as well. Obviously, he was on the mediums to you guys' hards, but he was definitely showing some really good pace there. And when all the changes happened, and he was going to the hards, and all you guys were having to go to mediums, we thought maybe it could actually work out for him. But you managed to get him there, and
Yeah, no,
some
he was
stint.
very strong. I mean, there's quite a lot of very strong drivers in the league, so I mean, I would never ever think, this is my week. And you just don't think like that because there's half a dozen there that could take it from you any week. So
Yeah, yeah. You've got your top guys, but there's plenty sort of underneath that are biting at the heels as well. So yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, you've got yourself like you kicked my ass earlier in practice, so
Oh, I did, didn't I? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so just don't join the league, please.
It's only because you took an extra pit stop. I swear. I can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't remember. I know I did end up ahead of you,
But
but Yeah.
No, I'm surprised I've been able to speak. I know I usually do speak too much, but I was actually pretty speechless for the first few minutes there. I couldn't believe it because obviously that's my first win. So
Yeah. Well, yes, of course. Yeah, so it's been a long time coming, but yeah, massive congratulations on that, buddy.
thank
Unfortunately,
you,
it
mate.
wasn't enough to earn you the driver of the day. Driver of the day goes to James for Haas, who started. I forgot. I already said it on the stream. I think he started 15th and finished 7th, but just generally had a great race throughout and lots of battling going on and was really clean and just brilliant. So fair play to
Yeah.
him, and also shout out to Carter who got fastest lap. He's currently sacking all his engineers, so yeah.
Nice.
And
Inside
Moon,
information.
you got
Inside
P3, didn't you?
information. He could barely see the screen for the last stint due to the tears in his eyes.
Excellent. Oh. Okay.
he's gonna
Hey,
he's gonna he's gonna kill me for that, but you know it's worth it.
Excellent, guys. Well, congratulations to all three of you. Also to James as well on his driver today, and also Oozers, who I'm giving a special award of Tyre Whisperer to for doing 28 laps on a set of hards. After
Wait,
pitting.
what?
Yeah,
Impressive.
he pitted lap 1. He didn't then think he didn't want to pit under
Hall
safety
of Fame
car.
for
He
him.
just did the whole lot.
Oh my, that's insane. Oh, fair play, man. Fair play.
So yeah, he gets the Tyre Whisperer of the day in a way. All right, and guys, well, as always, the view's been great, guys. So thank you ever so much to all of you that watched live. There's still loads of you there. Thank you to all of you that watched live. Thanks to everybody that watches back at a later point. I really appreciate it. Oozers as well, and the whole league really appreciate it. So thank you ever so much. For myself, I will be back on Friday for PRF1 at 8:30. For us, we are at where's Discord gone?
Australia.
Australia next week. Yes.
Nice.
Timey Kangaroo Dan. Right, okay, so we're going to Australia next week. Brilliant. Look forward to that, guys.
Yeah.
See you down under.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes. Brilliant.
Thank
Me
you.
too. I look forward to it as well. And hopefully there's not too many saved cars, but we'll be there 8 o'clock again next week for that one. Thanks very much, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your weeks, and good night.
All right.
Thank you. Bye bye.